Hello viewers, welcome to my channel as of the news.
Sure. Here's a 4,000-word news-style article titled, Sister Wives, Here's Why Kody and Robyn Avoid Questions in Tell-All. Over the years, Sister Wives has delivered some of reality television's most jaw-dropping family drama, emotional turbulence, and social experimentation. At the center of it all, Kody Brown and his plural family dynamics have remained a lightning rod for debate, fascination, and criticism. Yet, despite season after season of escalating tensions and heartbreaking departures, one mystery continues to baffle fans and ignite social media discourse. Why do Kody and Robyn Brown often dodge difficult or emotional questions in the tell-all specials? From emotional deflections to cryptic answers and awkward silences, Kody and Robyn's behavior during the tell-all episodes has evolved into one of the most controversial talking points of the entire show. Viewers who once tuned in for insight and closure are now left with even more questions, often frustrated by the evasive tactics that seem to shield the couple from deeper accountability. In this deep dive, we'll explore the potential reasons behind their avoidance, how it shapes the show's dynamic, and why fans feel increasingly disillusioned by the lack of transparency from the pair who remain in the spotlight even as the original family structure crumbles around them. The evolution of the Brown family. To understand the avoidance behavior in the tell-all episodes, it's important to grasp how the Brown family evolved. Sister Wives first aired in 2010, introducing audiences to Kody Brown and his four wives, Mary, Janelle, Christine, and Robyn. The premise centered around plural marriage and the family's journey through religious beliefs, relationship challenges, and public scrutiny. In the earlier seasons, the tell-alls were more unified. There was a sense of shared mission. Telling the world about polygamy, correcting misconceptions, and representing their faith. As cracks formed in the foundation of the family and separations followed, the emotional tone of these interviews shifted dramatically. What was once a collective story slowly became a fractured narrative with Kody and Robyn largely isolated from the rest of the family, both emotionally and physically. Shifting alliances and public sentiment. The departures of Christine, Janelle, and eventually Mary from their spiritual marriages to Kody reshaped the landscape entirely. Once the head of a large and complex plural family, Kody now shares his life with only one wife, Robyn. What followed these exits was a growing perception among fans that Robyn had always been the favorite, and perhaps even a driving force behind the dissolution of the other relationships. This perception created a cultural shift in how audiences view Kody and Robyn. The pair went from being part of a progressive social experiment to being labeled, by many, as emotionally manipulative, selective in their honesty, and defensive when cornered. These impressions were only amplified during tell-all specials, where other family members opened up with vulnerability while Kody and Robyn often appeared cagey or evasive. Avoidance as a defense mechanism. One prevailing theory behind Kody and Robyn's reluctance to answer questions in the tell-alls is rooted in psychological defense. When faced with criticism, especially in public settings, many people naturally deflect or shut down. Kody, in particular, has shown signs of becoming increasingly defensive when his character, leadership, or emotional availability are brought into question. In moments where Christine or Janelle speak openly about feelings of neglect or betrayal, Kody is often visibly agitated. His responses typically involve deflection. Redirecting the conversation, accusing others of betrayal, or claiming misunderstanding. Robyn, on the other hand, has a tendency to emotionally disengage or cry, claiming she doesn't understand why people see her as the problem. This strategy, whether conscious or subconscious, often positions her as a victim of perception rather than a participant in the conflict. Avoidance becomes a shield, a way to dodge deeper accountability or avoid being portrayed in a negative light. The tell-all format, designed to elicit truth, becomes instead a theater of partial truths and missed opportunities for resolution. Controlling the narrative. Another strong reason behind Kody and Robyn's evasiveness may be the desire to control their own narrative. While Sister Wives is edited for entertainment and drama, the tell-all segments are comparatively raw and driven by the cast's real-time responses. In these moments, there is less room to maneuver, answers are expected to be honest and reflective. Kody and Robyn's resistance to digging deep may be an attempt to prevent the kind of viral soundbites or meme-worthy clips that have often followed Christine or Janelle's more candid interviews. It could also be a protective measure. By avoiding certain questions, they reduce the likelihood of personal details being distorted or used against them in the broader cultural conversation about polygamy, favoritism, or emotional manipulation. This strategy, however, comes at a cost. The more they resist transparency, the more they alienate viewers who crave authenticity. The desire to manage their image creates a disconnect between the Browns and their audience, fueling conspiracy theories and fan outrage instead of fostering empathy or understanding. Robyn's perpetual confusion. A noticeable pattern in Robyn's tell-all appearances is her repeated expression of confusion regarding the breakdown of the family. She often claims she doesn't understand why the other wives left or why they see her as the favorite. To some viewers, this comes across as either disingenuous or willfully blind. By positioning herself as someone confused or hurt by the accusations, Robyn deflects accountability while still expressing emotion. It's a way of appearing vulnerable without truly engaging with the substance of the issues. Instead of exploring her role in the family's collapse, she focuses on how misunderstood she feels, thereby redirecting sympathy her way. This rhetorical strategy, while emotionally effective in isolated moments, has drawn increasing skepticism from fans. Over time, her insistence on confusion starts to feel like a rehearsed lie rather than a sincere attempt to understand or resolve conflicts. The host dynamic. One element that often goes under-discussed is the role of the tell-all host. Over the years, different hosts have moderated the reunions, each bringing their own interviewing style. Some have been more assertive, pushing Kody or Robyn to confront difficult truths, while others have taken a more passive approach, allowing evasive answers to slide by unchecked. The effectiveness of the tell-all often hinges on the host's willingness to challenge avoidance. When tough questions are not followed up with deeper probing, the avoidance goes unchallenged, which can make the entire segment feel staged or sanitized. Additionally, when other family members are asked pointed emotional questions and expected to open up deeply, the contrasting treatment of Kody and Robyn becomes glaring. This perceived imbalance frustrates viewers who feel the pair is protected or favored by production. Emotional fatigue and overexposure. After more than a decade in the public eye, emotional fatigue may also play a role in the avoidance. For Kody and Robyn, every word is now scrutinized, every facial expression dissected on social media. The weight of being the last couple standing can also be psychologically heavy, particularly as they face mounting criticism for the way things unfolded. There may be a sense that no matter what they say, it will be twisted or misinterpreted. Rather than engage in a vulnerable way, they choose to withhold. It's a form of self-preservation that makes sense on a personal level but is deeply frustrating from a storytelling perspective. Loyalty to each other. Another dimension to the avoidance may simply be Kody and Robyn's loyalty to each other. As the other relationships crumbled, they became each other's only remaining support. In tell-alls, this bond is fiercely evident. Robyn often defends Kody, and he, in turn, shields her from difficult accusations. They frequently speak in tandem, echoing each other's sentiments and validating each other's narratives. This mutual reinforcement creates a fortress around them, making it nearly impossible for anyone, whether host or ex-wife, to penetrate their shared truth. Any question that threatens that dynamic is likely to be met with deflection or shut down. Their loyalty, while admirable in isolation, becomes problematic when it stifles honest reflection or meaningful accountability. It creates an echo chamber in which only their perspective is valid, dismissing or minimizing the emotional truths of others. Strategic silence and future prospects. As reality television evolves and the Brown family continues to navigate their fractured relationships, there is speculation that Kody and Robyn's avoidance is also strategic in terms of future opportunities. Whether it's protecting potential spin-offs, book deals, or preserving public interest, there may be incentives to remain mysterious or ambiguous. By keeping certain details vague or refusing to answer direct questions, they create speculation. And speculation fuels viewership. While this may keep ratings up in the short term, it can erode trust in the long run. Fans are increasingly vocal about feeling misled or manipulated, and the more they sense that important truths are being withheld, the more they disengage emotionally. Fan backlash and social media impact. Perhaps the most powerful reflection of the public's discontent with Kody and Robyn's avoidance is found on social media. Reddit threads, TikTok commentary, and YouTube breakdowns dissect every moment of the tell-alls, often highlighting the inconsistencies in their stories or pointing out moments where they clearly dodge accountability. Memes mocking their responses, compilations of eye-roll-worthy moments, and fan theories about their motives have become a genre of content all their own. What might have once been seen as dignified restraint is now interpreted as cowardice or manipulation. The avoidance, intended perhaps to protect, now acts as a lightning rod for criticism. The price of silence. In the end, the avoidance tactics used by Kody and Robyn during tell-all episodes reflect a complex mix of emotional self-protection, image control, and relational loyalty. But with each dodged question or cryptic answer, they lose something more valuable than ratings or reputation: the trust of their audience. For a show that once prided itself on transparency and challenging social norms, the refusal to speak openly has become a glaring contradiction. And while the drama will likely continue, the avoidance has created a narrative vacuum, one that fans are increasingly unwilling to fill with goodwill. Unless Kody and Robyn decide to speak openly and honestly in future tell-alls, the distance between them and the audience will only grow. What remains to be seen is whether they value emotional safety over connection, or if the pressure of the spotlight will eventually crack their silence wide open. Let me know if you'd like a shorter version or need this formatted differently, e.g. blog post, monologue, etc.